Hello everyone. My name is Ago Alexander Soki. I'll be taking you on the past question that was sent for the Abia State recruitment. Mathematics only. So I'll be solving step by step from number 1 to the last, which is 20. Then in the next class, I'll be taking the quantitative reasoning. I think there's still about 20 questions there. So just pay attention and then you must understand what I'm going to teach you. But if at the point of the video you have any question, you can feel free to either drop the message on WhatsApp, your questions on WhatsApp and the WhatsApp group chat, or my DM, or on the YouTube group chat. Anywhere you feel like you drop your question, I will attend to them one after the other. So the first question we have here says, what is the value of 3 raised to power 2 plus 4 raised to power 2? Now, I'll first of all explain what this means. When you see something like this, 3 raised to power 2, what it simply means is that you are multiplying 3. This number 3, you are multiplying it 2 times, plus this next number 4, you are also multiplying it 2 times. So I will break this down. Instead of writing 3 raised to power 2, I will write it in a form that we will understand. 3 raised to power 2 means 3 times 3. I'm multiplying 3 2 times. Bring down your plus. Then multiply 4 as well 2 times. 4 times 4. And this will now take us to the simplest form of it. You multiply 3 times 3 is 9, plus 4 times 4 is 16. Finally, we can add 9 plus 16 is 25. So from the options we have here, the correct answer is B, that's 25. The second question, number 2, solve 2x plus 5 equal to 15. 2x plus 5 equal to 15. This is a linear equation. It's a linear equation. Why it is a linear equation is because the power of x here is 1. It's an invisible 1. There is an invisible raised to power 1 here. So that makes it a linear equation. For us to simplify this, thereby finding the value of x, the first step we are going to take is to collect like terms. Collect like terms. I just want to be a bit faster so that it will not consume a lot of time to solve the equation. So collecting like terms. Collecting like terms simply means we are separating this number carrying alphabet. We want to keep the alphabet at the left hand side and then push the numbers without alphabet to the right hand side. That is our aim in collecting like terms. So which number contains alphabet here? It is 2x. We bring down this 2x. You observe very well. Is there any other is there any other number here that has x? No. All the x we have in this equation are finished. That's 2x. Since there is no other x, bring down equal to. Now the next step, at the right hand side, we have 15. This 15 has to come down first. You take it as the landlord of this right hand side. It has to come down first. Then the tenant here, which is plus 5. It is not carrying any x. While the plus 5 is crossing over to the right hand side, this plus here will change to minus 5 because it is moving over the equality sign. Any sign that is moving over, assuming that you have minus here, if it is crossing over, it will become plus 5. But as you are having plus 5, when it crosses over, it will change to minus 5. Then we can now simplify. 2x is equal to 15 minus 5 is 10. Now, if you check very well, you will see that there is 10 in that option. That is why mathematics is very, very tricky. you will see there is 10, and the 10 is even option A. That's the first option we have here, but it's wrong. 10 is not our final answer, because in this equation we are looking for the value of x and not the value of 2x. So for us to find the value of x now, we say therefore x is equal to, you already have 10 here, then these two we come down and divide 10. I hope you get what I mean. Assuming that we have 5 here, 5x. For us to find x, we say 10 divided by 5. You carry the 5, the coefficient of x. Use it and divide the right hand side. But since we are having 2, the 2 will come down and divide 10. Finally, x is equal to 10 divided by 2 will give us 5. So the correct option for this is also option B. Now, in the next question, we are to calculate the LCM of 6 and 8. The LCM means the lowest common multiple of 6 and 8. There are different ways you can do this, but I think I will use the shortest way of solving. So for us to find the LCM of 6 and 8, I will rule my line. This is 6 and this is 8. Now, in your mind, you will ask yourself, what number can I use to divide 6 and it will also divide 8? Even if the number cannot divide both, just pick a number that can divide any of these numbers. Our aim in this is to continue dividing these two numbers until we arrive at 1, 1, 1, 1. Nothing can go again. That is 1, 1. So I choose 2 first. It's your choice. You can decide to choose 3 because 3 can divide 6. It will work. But I want to start with 2 because in my mind I know that 2 can divide 6 and can also divide 8 without the remainder. So here now, 2 into 6 will give us 3. 2 into 4. 2 into 8 will give us 4. 2 can divide again. 2 into 3. If you take 2 into 3, that's 2 into 3 means 2 people sharing 3 things. There will be a remainder. They'll get 1, 1, but there will be a remainder. But we don't need reminders here. Instead of you dividing these 2 with 3, just bring down the 3 because there will be a remainder. Then divide 4. 2 into 4 will give us 2. 2 can go again. Remember I said when there will be a remainder, you don't need to divide. Just bring down the number 3. 2 into 2 is 1. Then finally, use 3 and divide. 3 into 3 will give you 1. Bring down this 1. Like I said, we'll continue dividing until we arrive at 1, 1 here. Immediately you arrive at 1, 1, you are good to go. What you now do to finalize your answer is multiply the numbers that you used to divide. All those numbers we used to divide, multiply them. So we are having 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. So our final answer is 24, which is option B as well. Option B. That number 1 is B, number 2 is B, number 3 is also B. The next question. Simplify 3 over 4 divided by 1 over 2. Now, before I take this question, I want to explain something for you. When you are multiplying fraction, I want to explain multiplication. We have division here, but for you to be able to divide fractions, you have to first understand how to multiply fractions. This is how we multiply fractions. If I have, let me say 3 over 2 times 1 over 2. How to multiply this is the numerator, that's the number up. We multiply this number up. 3 times 1 is 3. All over. The number down, we multiply this one down, which is the denominators. 2 times 2 is 4. And that's all. Numerator multiplies numerator, denominator multiplies denominator. Now that we are dividing, 3 over 4 divided by 1 over 2. For you to divide fraction, this division, you are going to change it to multiplication. And when you change to multiplication, it will affect this second fraction here. You take the reciprocal. Reciprocal means turn that fraction upside down. As you are having 1/2, it's now going to turn over to 2/1. So what I will have here will be 3/4. Instead of division, I will change to multiplication. Then, since I've changed this sign to multiplication, this 1/2 will turn upside down, the reciprocal, to become 2/1. Then I can now multiply the way I multiplied my fraction here. 3 times 2 will give us 6. And then 4 times 1 is 4. You check in your options, we have 6/4. So 6/4 is there, which is option B. But when you look at this, we can simplify this to the lowest form. 2 can divide these numbers. 2 into 6 will give us 3. And 2 into 4 will give us 2. Which will now give us 3 divided and 3/2 as a final. Remember that this question says simplify. That's what the question says. Simplify means bring it to the form that nothing again, there is no operation again that we can perform, or except if it is converting it to mixed fraction or decimal. The point that nothing can divide again, that is what we mean by simplify it to the least form. So if you stop at 6/4 and pick option B, 6/4 is here, is in option B, 6/4, but if you pick it, you have failed. The correct answer is 3/2, which is the simplest form. So at this point now we have simplified. The next question says, what is the square root of 144? Square root means, let me bring it down to the lowest understanding, to a layman's understanding. What we mean by square root is, what number can you pick? What particular number can you pick and multiply that number by itself to give you 144? If there is any number you can multiply by itself to give you 144, then that number is the square root of 144. If I decide to pick 9 and ask you what is the square root of 9, what I'm asking you, which number will you multiply by itself to give you 9? And that number is 3 times 3. 3 times 3 will give us 9. That means the square root of 9 is equal to 3. What about 36? Square root of 36. We know that 6 times 6 will give us 36. That means the square root of 36 is equal to 6. So for this now, bigger number, 144, which number can you multiply to give you 144? If you are too good in maths, you don't need calculation. You already know that 12 times 12 will give us 144. That means the square root of 144 is equal to 12. But if you are not too good in maths, you now have to take through the long process of calculating this 144. Now you will be dividing this number just the way we did our LCM in the last. But here you have just one number. You'll be dividing it until you arrive at 1. So 2 can divide. Let me take 2 in 14 first. 2 into 14 will give me 7. Then 2 into 4 will give me 2. That means 2 into 144 is 72. 2 can divide again. 2 into 7 will give me 3. Remainder 1. Join the 1 here and make it 12. 2 into 12 is 6, being 36. 2 can divide again. 2 into 3 will give 1, remainder 1. Join the 1 to 6 and make it 16. 2 into 16 is 8. 2 can divide again. 2 into 18 is 9. 3 can divide. 3 into 9 is 3. 3 can divide again. 3 into 3 is 1. You continue dividing until you reach 1. And now in square roots, unlike what we did in LCM, we multiplied all the numbers that we have. But square roots now, we are going to be picking in 2s. Any 2 you mark, you pick 1. So this is how we pick our numbers to multiply. 2 occur twice here. Pick 1 times you have a double 2 again, you pick 1, times you have a double 2 again, a double 3, you pick 1 of the 3. Then we multiply. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 3 is 12. That means the square root of 144 is 12, meaning that 12 times 12. 12 is the number that will multiply itself to give us 144. The correct option there is, where is it? The correct option there is option B, again, 12. Then the next one, convert 0.75 to fraction. Convert 0.75 to fraction. Very simple. This is how we convert to fraction. Remember that fraction means they want us to show a denominator and a numerator and a denominator, something like A over B. That's the fraction. So we want to put this, we want to remove decimal points and introduce all over in this number here. Now this is how we do it. Put over. This your point, this decimal point that you are seeing here. Replace it as 1 under that fraction, under that number. Change the decimal point to 1. Then other numbers that are involved, your 7 becomes 0, your 5 becomes 0. So what we'll be having, remember I said we have replaced this point as 1. So what we'll be having here now is 75 over 100. Looking at 75 over 100, something can divide, being 5. Let's divide with 5. 5 into 7 will give us 1, remainder 2. Here it becomes 25. 5 into 25 is 5. Then 5 can go here. 5 into 10 is 2. 5 in 0 is 20. Is 0, that's 20. 5 can still divide again. 5 into 15 is 3. And 5 into 20 is 4. So our final answer becomes 3 over 4. Nothing can divide again. So that is option C, 3 over 4. The next question, if a triangle has 30 degree and 60 degree, if a triangle has 30 degrees and 60 degrees, the third angle will be what? What will be the third angle? Let me draw a triangle for us. A triangle has 30 degrees. I can call here 30 degrees. And I can call here my 60 degrees. They have given us 2 sides of this triangle and they are asking us what is this part? What will be the third side? Remember that a triangle has 3 angles. 3 angles of inclination. This is 30 degrees and this is 60 degrees. But what will come to your mind is that the total angles in a triangle sums up to 180 degrees. That's the sum of angles inside the triangle is 180 degrees. Now, very simplest way to do it is add up this angle. 60 plus 30 is 90. 90 plus what will give us 180. Since we said that the total angle here will give us 180. Let's now form an equation with that. We have x plus 30 plus 60 is equal to 180 degrees, because we said the sum of all these 3 angles is equal to 180. Then from this point you collect your like terms. Collect like terms. Remember I said collecting like terms means leaving the alphabet at the left, pushing the numbers at the right. And anytime you are pushing anything to cross over equality sign, the sign must change. If it is plus, it becomes minus. If it is minus, it becomes plus. So I'll bring down my x first, equal to. There is no other x there, that's why I'm bringing down equal to now. This chairman, the landlord, will come down first, 180 degrees. Then the tenants will be pushed over. Plus 30 degree crossing over becomes minus 30 degrees. Plus 60 degrees crossing over becomes minus 60 degrees. Then finally, x will be equal to 180 minus 30. 180 minus 30 is 150. And 150 minus 60 will give us 90 degrees. That means the value of the unknown, of the third angle. The third angle that we are looking for is 90 degrees. And that is option D. Sorry, option B. The next question. The perimeter of a square of side 5 cm is what? That is, what is the perimeter of a square? Remember, you have square. One of the major properties of a square is that all the sides are equal. All the sides of a square are equal. So since they said a square of side 5 cm, they have given us one of the side to be 5 cm. But we know that in a square, all the sides are equal. Since one side is 5 cm, that automatically means that all other remaining sides will still be 5 cm, 5 cm, 5 cm, all three. And we are looking for the perimeter. Perimeter means adding up all the sides of any shape. Even if it is perimeter of a triangle, it means add up all the given sides of that triangle. Perimeter of a rectangle, add up all the sides of the rectangle. So perimeter of this square now is 5 cm plus 5 cm plus 5 cm plus 5 cm. That's adding up all the four sides. There's no need of stating formula here, but if you feel like stating formula for your rough book, that is length plus width plus width. This is your length and this is your width. So let's add now. 5 plus 5 is 10. 10 plus 5, 15. 15 plus 5. We have 20 cm as our answer. And that is option 20 cm is option C. Next question. 25%. What is 25% of 200? 25%. Anytime you hear percent means that you are working with 100. Because the maximum percentage you have is 100. The general percentage is 100. So 25% now, we are going to change it involving 100. 25% is the same as saying 25 over 100. And you know that of in mathematics is multiplication times. So 25% is 25 over 100. Of becomes times. Then you have your 200. Very, very simple. There is no stress in this. You don't need to start stressing your brain to multiply. You just cancel out. You can make this over 1. 0, you cancel 0. 0 down, you cancel 0 up. The second 0 down, you cancel the second 0 up. We just have 1 times 1 left here, which is 1. Then multiply the numerator. 25 times 2. 25 times 2. 2 times 5 is 10, carry 1. 2 times 2, 4, plus 1, 5. So 25% of 200 will give us 50 as our answer. And that is option B. Then the next question, solve. Let me solve here. 5 raised to power 2 minus 3 raised to power 2. This is exactly not exactly, but a similar question to the first question we solved. Here we have 5 raised to power 2. Remember I said whenever you see raised to power 2, it means you are multiplying that number by itself 2 times. So 5 raised to power 2 now means 5 times 5. You are multiplying 5 2 times. Bring down your minus. 3 raised to power 2 means multiplying 3 2 times. That is 3 times 3. You can now break it down. 5 times 5 is 25 minus 3 times 3 is 9. Then we can subtract 25 minus 9. That will give us 16 as our answer. So the option here is option B, 16. The next question. Which of the following is an even number? Which is an even number. And the numbers given to us here are option A, 9, option B, 15, option C, 21, option D is 24. They are asking us which of all these numbers is an even number. Even numbers are numbers that are divisible by 2 without a remainder. Numbers that you can divide by 2 and there will be no remainder. If you cannot remember that, or if it is difficult for you to find it out in this, you just read. I believe everybody as teachers, we know how to read 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So just be reading and see whether you read these numbers. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You can see I've reached 10, but I did not mention 9. That means that 9 is not an even number. 9 is not an even number. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. I've reached 16. I did not mention 15. So 15 is not an even number. 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. I've reached 22. I did not mention 21. It's not an even number. 22, 24. We have 24. So 24 is an even number. Out of all these sets, it is only 24 that can be divisible by 2 without a remainder. If you divide 24 by 2, we'll be having 12 as our answer. But if we divide 21 by 2, we'll be having a decimal point. We have 10.5. If we divide 15 by 2, we also have a decimal number, 7.5. If we divide 9 by 2, we'll be having 4.5. So this is the only one that gives us a whole number. That means 24 is the even number of all these numbers listed. The next question says, find the mean of 2, 4, and 6. Mean is the same as average. In some questions, they tell you find the mean of this set of numbers. In some questions, they tell you find the average. So anywhere you meet, it is the same thing. Average is the same as mean. And that is the way we calculate our results for our students. You have to add up the number of scores. These are the 3 scores we have here. 2 plus 4 plus 6. And you divide by the total numbers, the total number that we have. Just assume that this is a test taken by one student. And these are the scores, 2, 4, and 6. Add up the scores together and divide by how many subjects the student wrote. How many subjects are here now? 1, 2, 3. So we divide by 3. And we can now add 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 plus 6, 12. We have 12 over 3. And 12 divided by 3 will give us 4. That means the mean of these numbers, 2, 4, 6, is equal to 4, which is option A. Then the next one, if y is equal to 3x and x is equal to 4, find y. What is y? They have given us y is this. Y is equal to 3x. Then, and in this equation, they also told us that this x now is 4. X is equal to 4. So what is the actual value of y? That means y will be equal to, this 3x means 3 times. The relationship between this 3 and x is times. 3 times x. So I'll be having 3 times. My x now is 4. Replace it with 4. Finally, y is equal to 3 times 4. That's 12. As our final answer, which is option B. And the next question says, what is the value of pi? This is called pi. It's a sign in maths that we call pi. Pi, pi. Now they are asking us what is the approximate value. You have in mind, because I think you might be allowed to use calculator from the system. So this pi means 22/7. Anywhere you see pi, what you should be seeing is 22/7. So in your calculator, just press 22 divided by 7. So you'll be having 3.1428 something. That's the number we have. So the approximate value now is, we are approximating. They gave us two decimal places. So we are stopping at this point, and we are rounding down. This number is not up to 5, so we are adding 0 here to have 3.14 as our approximate value of pi. Next question. What is 40% as decimal? What is 40% as decimal? Always remember that 40%, the percentage goes with 100. So this 40% is the same as saying 40/100. Then we cancel out 0 here, we cancel 0 here. We have 4/10 left. When you reach at 4/10, 4 dividing 10 means we need to see 1 0 before points with the number up. That is 0.4. Assuming you have 4 divided by 100. 4 divided by 100, you need to see 2 zeros before your 4. That is 0.04. That's how division works. There is no step. These are the shortcuts we have in dividing numbers by 10, by 100, by 1 as zeros. If I have 4 divided by 1000, what will it be now? I know you'll be calculating in your mind. That will give us 3 zeros here before 4. 0.00 then 4. So since you have broken this down to 4/10, and we have 1 0 down, that makes it 0.4. But if you have calculator, you can just press from here 40 divided by 100. You still have 0.4 as the answer, and that is option C. Alright, the next question we have says the area of a rectangle is found by. That's what is the formula for calculating area of a rectangle. This is the shape of a rectangle, and in a rectangle we have the length and the breadth. You can either call this the breadth or the width. It's your choice. Whether you call it breadth or width, there is no problem with that. So the formula for calculating the area of a rectangle is multiplying one side of your length to one side of your breadth. That is very simple. So we have area equal to length times the breadth. Length times breadth. This is the formula for calculating the area of the rectangle. So sometimes they can tell you in a rectangle the length is 5 cm and the breadth is 2 cm. What is the area? You just input in this formula. Your length is 5 cm times breadth is 2 cm. Then if you multiply 5 cm times 2 cm, it will be 10 cm squared. That is the area. But for now, they are just asking us what is the formula. So the correct answer here is option A, option C, length times breadth. In option A, you can see length plus. Don't go and pick plus, so there is no plus in your area. It's not length plus breadth. You are multiplying it and not adding. Okay, then the next question. This is the question that have been causing problem online. So I'll be taking my time to explain this question. We have 18 divided by 3 times 2. There is a way mathematics is. I tried to clarify this online. Some people understood it, why some people did not still understand. But I'll be taking my time here. So I multiplied 3 times 2 is 6. and 18 divided by 6 is 3. And if you check in the option, 3 is even the number A there, the first option A, and you have failed. But when you see the 3, you think that you are correct. Anything mathematics works with a rule when we come to simplification, and that rule is called the rule of BODMAS. BODMAS. So anything we are solving must follow this rule. B is brackets, O is order and not off. Some people misplace O as off instead of order. This O is order. Order means when you have powers like 2 raised to power 2 or 3 raised to power 4, just anything power, that is your order. Then D is division, meaning that you are going to divide first before your multiplication. So there is no way we can start here and do 3 times 2, 6. Then 18 divided by 6 will now give us 3. If you solve like this, that means you are solving leftwards. We have to follow the rule of BODMAS and divide first. So we are taking this first. 18 divided by 6. 18 divided by 3 will give us 6. You can bring down times 2. Then finally we multiply. 6 times 2 is 12. So the correct answer is 12. You solve from division to multiplication, not from multiplication to division. So the correct answer here is option C. Option C, 12, and not option A. Follow the rule of BODMAS. You divide. After you divide, any answer you get from your division, use it and multiply the next number that you have. Then, next question. A straight line angle equals what? That's what is angle on a straight line? What is the angle on a straight line? This is just a rule. Any straight line that you have, the angle on a straight line equals 180 degrees. Remember that the total degrees we have in an angle is 360 degrees, of which I want to explain this 180 now. Of which, if you divide this 360 into these 4 quadrants, you'll be having 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, and 90 degrees. Now, if you want to pick a particular straight line, let's say that we want to work with this straight line here. If you want to work with this straight line, that means we are adding up this angle that we have here, 90 plus 90, and that will give us 180 degrees. So that is angle on a straight line. If you want to work with this other straight line here, that means we are adding this angle, 90 plus 90, which will still give us 180 degrees. So the angle on a straight line is 180 degrees. But the answer they gave here is 90 degrees, which is wrong. 90 degrees is angle of inclination here. That is the 90 degrees. This one forms L. But when you talk of a straight line, you have to adjust this again. Since there is 90, there is another 90 degrees here to complete it. 90 plus 90, 180 degrees. So you have this in mind. Angle on a straight line is 180 degrees. Another question that can come like this is angle at a point. What is angle at a point? Angle at a point will give you 360 degrees. Angle at a point means that it has rotated all the quadrants of this circle. It has gone around to a point. So that angle at that point is 360 degrees. But angle on a straight line is 180 degrees. Then the second to last question. This is another question that has an L. Second to last question says, which of the following? Okay, the smallest one, which of the following is? Which of the following is the smallest prime number? The smallest prime number. And we have options. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, and D is 5. They picked 1 as the answer, which is wrong. Reason is because I'll start by defining a prime number. A prime number is any number that can only be divisible by itself and 1. That is what a prime number is. What number can divide? It is in this whole world, the whole numbers you have, it is only 1 and that number itself that can divide the number. That's what the prime number is. For example, now we have 4. If you think of numbers that can divide 4 without a remainder, 1 can divide 4. 4 divided by 1 is 4. 2 can also divide. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 4 can also divide. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So at this point, you see that 4 can divide, 2 can divide, 1 can divide, meaning that 4 is not a prime number. Prime numbers are numbers that only 1 and that number itself can divide. Example 2. What numbers can divide 2? It is only 2. 2 divided by 2, 1. And 2 divided by 1 is 2. There is no other number in this world that you use to divide 2 and have a whole number. Any other number you use to divide will give you decimals. You'll be having points. If you pick 3, 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 divided by 1 is 3. Aside 3 and 1, there is no other number that can divide 3 without a remainder. Likewise 5. But when we say a prime number is a number that can divide itself and 1, 1 is not inclusive. You are not including 1 because 1 is already itself. 1 is already itself. There is no way you can say 1 is dividing itself and also dividing 1. That's why we excluded 1 as a prime number. So this already is disqualified from your answers because 1 is not a prime number. But these other 3 numbers remaining are prime numbers. You will now choose among these 3 which of them is the smallest number. The smallest number here now is 2. That means the smallest prime number we have in this set is 2 and not 1. And why we are not picking 1 is because 1 is not a prime number. It's not qualified to be a prime number. Then the final question, the last question, to summarize it all. The last question says, if a book costs 500 naira, if a book costs 500 naira and you buy 4, you buy 4 of the books, what is the total cost? And you buy 4, what is the total cost? In fact, this one, we don't need stress in this because this is what we encounter in our everyday life. It's just like when you went to buy sweets. You want to lick sweets and they told you that one sweet is 10 naira. So if you buy 4, how much are you going to pay? It's 14 naira. Very simple mathematics. Now you are having, how you got the 14 naira is you add, since you bought 4, 10 naira plus the second 10 naira plus the third sweet 10 naira plus the fourth sweet 10 naira, that will give us 14 naira. So here now, a book costs 500 naira. One book is equal to 500 naira. And you are buying 4. Since 1 is 500, you want to buy 4. The first book is 500 naira. The second book is also 500 naira. The third book is still the same price, 500. The fourth book is also the same price, 500. So we are buying 4 books. What is the total cost? How much are you now going to pay? You add up. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 5, 10. 10 plus 5, 15. 15 plus 5 is 20. And that will give us 2,000 naira. In fact, this is a long way of solving. In a shorter way, we just say since one book costs 500 naira and you are buying 4, you just multiply this by 4. Instead of adding 500 plus 500 plus 500, what if they say you buy 20? How are you going to add all this till 20? So the shortest form is just 500 times 4. You multiply and go your way. 4 times 0, 0. 4 times 0, is 0, and 4 times 5 is 20, which will still give us 2,000 naira. So this is the easiest, the shortest way to solve, but this one is more explanatory. If you want to explain, we use this method, but for the sake of exam, instead of wasting time and doing this, you just pick 500 for one and multiply by the number you are buying. If assuming they say you bought 9 of the books, you multiply by 9. 9 times 0 is 0, 9 times 0 is 0, and 9 times 5 is 45. You have 4,500. So this is the last question in the mathematics. In the next video, I'll be dropping the solution to the quantitative reasoning. Maybe by tomorrow evening, I'll be dropping the solution for quantitative reasoning. So if you have any question on this so far, you can just drop a message for me on my WhatsApp or on the YouTube channel, where I will explain more for you. Thank you.